Alrighty, what's going on? Gorilla Blood Radio, Daniel Correa, Scott, and DX. What's going on, Scott?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm tired, obviously, from stuff previously before hitting the record button.
Yes. For those that don't know, we normally would be winding down the show at this point of time in the evening, but Daniel, having an actual life on a Saturday today, fell asleep when he got home.
Yeah, all day at a badminton tournament. Came home, ate something, had the TV on, and went.
I mean, I called to make sure he was still alive. That was the important thing, in my opinion. He's like, oh, he's still doing show, Scott. That's all. Show. That's all I heard from him. So it's like, here we are. So if he starts snoring, it'll be him for once and not me.
It's funny. I was sitting there thinking about it afterwards, and I'm like, huh. I mean, obviously my body was tired. I wasn't thinking about the situation, what day it was, or anything like that. Plus, the night before, I had talked to you, too, so maybe that was a factor that my brain counted, but, like, in my subconscious, but not in my conscious mind.
Forgive me for my life turning to shit and you helping me.
Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. I don't know why all of a sudden it was just like, I was so at peace, ready to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden the phone rang, and I look at the phone, and I go, what is Scott calling me so late for? Oh, shit, it's Saturday!
It's only 10, too. I don't know. Like, I tell people not to call me at 10. That's why I was like, okay, it's just before 10, and let me call you quickly.
Yeah.
You know, just make sure you're still kicking and breathing. That's the important thing.
Yeah. No, I'm alive. I'm a little tired, but it was a long day. That's for darn sure. Had nine kids qualify for another tournament, which is cool. So I was helping out.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's amazing when you play a game where you're hitting something called a birdie around.
Yeah, there was. Oh man, I think it was. Okay. So back up, so people kind of know what's going on. I was the head coach. Moved, obviously, over the course of the show. I had since moved to Texas, moved back. I'm no longer head coach. I am assistant alumni volunteer coach, not paid. And that also.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Sorry, I have to boo that. You're not getting boo!
Yeah, I'm not there every day, like the head coach is. It's kind of one of those things where I kind of come and go as I please. And at the start of the year, I was there more often because he wanted to kind of get acclimated, and then I stepped away because I felt like, okay, maybe I'm stepping on toes being around. And then now he's like said, hey, what happened? Are you gonna come around more often again? So I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, so
getting paid, boo.
yeah, it does kind of suck to not get paid, but I mean, just today was like it's basically the longest day in the world when it comes to the because it's the local tournament. So, but yeah, I think if my math serves me right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 kids entered and 9 qualified for the next tournament. So
6 men entered, 1 man leaves.
yeah, it's not total battle royale like that, but
it's not Thunderdome.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, it was a long day, fun day, tiring day. That's for darn sure.
And for you, that was a really good close reference.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's not battle royale.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. So last week I gave Scott the ultimatum that by next week he needed to see Infinity War, and he has seen Infinity War. So
I saw it the next day just to make sure you didn't come all the way from California and kick me in the balls.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't do that to you.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
That's planned for summer.
Yeah, I gotta make sure the first time I see you, I wear a cup.
Maybe.
So, all right. So, if you saw Infinity War without seeing any of the other movies in the MCU, you probably had Yeah, well, yeah, that's for one. But you probably had no clue what the fuck was going on. As this,
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have previous knowledge of all the characters and why they're coming together and what they have and, you know, what they control and what they offer to be able to actually understand, you know, the movie and the motives and how some of the things went down and how people responded. Like, why did Peter Quill lose his shit when Gamora was found out to be dead?
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of shit.
By the way, spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, come on. It's been over a week now since the movie came out. I mean, either you've seen it or you're hearing spoilers. So fuck you.
Wow, he's surly when he wakes up.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I've been biting my tongue all week, and people are like, "Oh, don't spoil it. Don't spoil." I'm like, dude, it's been out a week already. Go see it if you really want to see it. Go see it this weekend. If you get basically,
I'm gonna go see it a second time now. Actually, now that I'm sitting here, I'm going, I really want to see it a second time.
yeah, you basically get 2 weekends, and then it's like, okay, you're not immune anymore.
Oh yeah, come this Monday. And if my boss hasn't seen it yet, I'm like, all right, we're going now.
Yeah.
No, shut up. We're going.
Yeah. So the oh my god, the freaking it basically starts off immediately after Ragnarok ends.
So yeah, that big looming ship at the end of Ragnarok comes into play.
Yeah, that beat Thanos. And
I thought that anyway.
Yeah, and then basically everybody but Thor is dead.
Well, they do say late in the film that half of everyone escaped, you know, because Thanos only kills half.
That is true. So
Remember, it's established throughout the film that Thanos' goal is to just half the universe's population in order to preserve all of its resources, because resources are limited.
Yeah.
And in doing so, which if his planet did it when he said his planet should do it, culling the herd, whether you're rich, poor, young, old, doesn't make a difference, cull the herd. And once you cull the herd, you'll be able to live a nice, prosperous lifestyle.
And that's where the gauntlet comes into play, because with the snap of his fingers, theoretically, he could wipe out half of the population of the universe.
Without causing the pain that he has caused so many. Because when they flash back to Gamora as a child, he and his the children of Thanos, which is Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, which is actually Black Dwarf in the comic books, Proxima Midnight, and Corvus Glaive, which they played a nice little trick with him at the end of the film, right?
I'm trying to remember because I don't know all the characters' names of.
Okay, the one with the Grim Reaper scythe.
Okay.
Like how they said, you know, they implied that he was dead, but he actually wasn't.
Okay.
And he was sneaking around trying to get, what's his name, Vision?
Yes, okay. I'm trying to remember back again. Brain still turning on from being asleep.
Alright, well, you know, those were the 4 children of Thanos throughout the film. And what they would do is they'd go from planet to planet, they would bring everyone together, and then with a snap of the fingers, half of them are dead. His goal was to do it in a slightly more altruistic way, where, in his mind, his goals are good. He's doing this for the universe. You know? Although, I truly think that his goals aren't as altruistic as he's leading on with his, you know, way of talking about it. Especially that one moment where, you know, that baby Gamora asks, what did it cost you? Everything. And she smiles, and then he's seen on a planet chilling.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, you didn't do that just to be a nice guy. You did that because you wanted to get, you know, somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and it's funny, of all the things that I've seen online about all this stuff, and the whole possibility of snapping his fingers and half the population of the universe being gone because of resources and all this stuff, how come if he didn't just snap his fingers, all resources doubled?
There is, you know, very good arguments for there not being that.
Yeah.
You know? And it's interesting that we could talk about something like this because when, at least from what I've read and understood, when cultures are more prosperous and they have, an abundance of supplies and materials, they get the fucking.
Yeah.
And in doing so, more babies. And as a planet that kind of is going through this, if you think about it, because we now have 7 billion people on this planet, probably going to be 8 billion by 10 years from now. Going to be a big issue when we run out of everything.
That is true. Yep.
I'm just saying, Thanos, that, it's just going to go through the same cycle, but if you completely eradicate half of the issue,
yeah,
there's less of an issue of people. Like, literally, okay, there's 4 billion people on this planet, you have twice as many resources, now there's 5 billion people on this planet, not as many resources. There's 2 billion people on this planet now, same amount of resources, make it work.
Yeah, it's
you think differently when half of everyone is gone.
Yeah, you don't think about it because it's just going about your daily life, but yeah, there's way more people than you realize that are here. So, and we don't even really use all of the land either. There are still stuff that's basically, for the most part, untouched as well. We all kind of have populations that are.
There's also a whole bunch of stuff we destroyed.
That is true too.
That's why we're looking at other planets for shit. Like, can we go to a different planet? No.
Well, shoot. I don't know if you heard, but apparently President Trump said something about a space force. Because we're big in space now, and we're going to be big in space, and we won't need to have a space force.
Space force.
He said it, and I think it was I can't remember if it was the Army's birthday. I don't know what it was, but there was what looked like soldiers or cadets or something behind him. I don't know which branch of the military was behind him at a press conference when he said that, and I'm sitting there going, this kind of almost sounds like when people were like looking at, I think it was Reagan who said the thing about Star Wars and made the comment about that, or Kennedy saying the whole about wanting to go to the moon, and I'm like, people are thinking, wait, what?
So, just to remind you, you voted for him.
Yeah, I'm looking at that going, hey, maybe he knows something we don't. I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see what happens.
I'm sure he knows plenty we don't. We're not very good when it comes to business, obviously.
That is true. That is very true. But we'll see. Maybe we are on the next horizon. Maybe all the Elon Musks of the world have enough knowledge to where soon enough we will be colonizing a planet other than Earth.
I could see that being a possibility. Maybe not in our lifetime, but possibly the lifetime afterwards.
Sure. But yeah, we're getting away from the movie here.
Space Force just sounds silly.
It did kind of sound silly, so.
That's like, I'm waiting for him to go, yo, Joe! Like, yay.
So. Someone
get that man away from the comic books.
Alright, back to Infinity War here.
So, yeah, I can honestly see where Thanos is coming from. He's like, this shit happened to my planet, and now look at my planet, it's a husk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to take out half of the population. I'm going to do it like this because that's a lot less painful.
Yeah, that's true. And so, yeah, right off the start of the movie, basically, like I said, they made it look like everybody died. We find out later it's only half, but yeah, that...
Still killed Loki and Heimdall.
Oh, my God. Like, Loki for realsy this time. And Heimdall, well, there goes the Thanos theory of who has the Soul Stone. So with Heimdall being dead, so he doesn't have the Soul Stone within him, like everybody was thinking, maybe because of his orange yellowy eyes.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a fan theory.
Yeah, so Heimdall being one of them, yeah. So. So yeah, but Thor gets out, basically floats in space, and crashes into the Guardians ship. They're still in the Milano. I can't remember if it was a different ship this time or not. I think it was.
I couldn't tell. I wasn't trying to concentrate that hard. Just the thing. Get it off! Get it off!
Yeah. Yeah, windshield wipers.
Drax was the most useless thing in this movie.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Completely useless. Funny, but useless.
Yeah. How long have you been there? An hour. I'm very, very still and quiet.
I'm slow enough you can't see me at all. It's like, no, we can see you.
You're eating a chip.
Damn it. Hi, Drax.
It's so funny.
It was so stupid.
It is.
It was absolutely pointless in the whole film.
Yeah, he really didn't do all that much. Yeah, a lot of the scenes, if Thor was in it, the Guardians were in it for the most part. The fucking pissing contest between Thor and Star-Lord was pretty funny.
Oh god, that boy is so pathetic on that one.
Yeah, he goes, I'm not changing my voice. That's fucking freaking Star-Lord trying to sound like Thor.
I gotta say, those are the scenes I could have lived without.
Yeah, they are kind of pointless, but it's just kind of showing you how another thing how petty Star-Lord could be and how intimidated by somebody else who's actually like
a god.
Yeah, I mean he realizes like this dude is not just a normal dude, and he's like, oh, I don't want Gamora getting sweet on him either.
See, they were mentioning the muscles.
Yeah.
I did like the fact they were making fat jokes about him. All you think back was the Parks and Recs episodes.
Oh jeez, yeah. Fat version of what's it?
You mean the real Chris Pratt?
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Well,
the non-Asian Toru Yano.
Oh man, I totally did not think about that till just now. That's a good picture now in my head. I can just see Chris Pratt selling DVDs walking down the street. Oh man.
God, I want to see a match between the two of them, but I want fat Chris Pratt back.
That's funny.
For that match.
Oh, dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, then you had, Vision being attacked with, while he's in a relationship with Scarlet Witch, which we all knew was going to happen.
Yes. And they're kind of they're not necessarily in hiding, but they're kind of trying and living other places and coming together for a little while and just going their own ways and so yeah, we're getting to see that relationship, and then
they're going after the stone in his forehead.
Yes,
and that was the last stone Thanos needed, right?
In the grand scheme of things, yes. As the movie goes on, everybody kind of knew that one was there. Yeah, the Soul Stone was the main one that nobody knew where it was, and that was Gamora was the only one who kind of knew what was going on. And again, the only other theory that anybody kind of had, at least from what I've seen, other than Heimdall having that within him, was like maybe it was with the those, what was the gold, the people that were all gold?
Oh God, I don't remember their names, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
But that they thought that maybe the Soul Stone was what was helping power like that giant incubator that everybody believes is going to become Adam Warlock.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't become Adam Warlock, that's just like a giant waste of everything.
So, but everybody was thinking, okay, that's going to be where the Soul Stone. Not even close. I mean, they went some other place completely, and holy shit, we get a Red Skull sighting, because he's the one on the planet defending where the Soul Stone is. He's kind of like the gatekeeper.
Yeah, and you fucked with the stone, so
yeah, and
here's your punishment for not doing what you need to do.
And he got beamed from the Tesseract there. So So yeah, there's that. Then eventually he does get the Soul Stone, but in order to get the Soul Stone, he basically has to sacrifice something he loves. And Gamora's laughing at him because, you don't love anything, ha 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 ha. And
See, I knew I never thought I'd see the day when you'd cry when you didn't get what you want. It's like the tears are not for him.
yeah, and then he dumps Gamora off the cliff, and she dies, and he gets the Soul Stone.
Yeah, it was a very moment.
Yeah. So there's that. All the while of this stuff going on, Earth is being attacked themselves. We mentioned Vision and Scarlet Witch. The New York Sanctum with Doctor Strange has been attacked by Thanos' goons, because in the Eye of Agamotto is the Time Stone within the medallion that Doctor Strange has. Iron Man's there, basically helping him out there. Banner, who was on the ship with Thor, got beamed back by a Heimdall before he died.
Dying moment of power.
Yeah, basically sent Banner back to Earth to warn everybody. Basically Thanos made Hulk his bitch.
And it was pretty obvious that Hulk was afraid, and that's why he wasn't coming out to play anymore.
Yeah, so we basically had Banner the whole time.
I'm okay with. I like Mark Ruffalo as a character.
Yeah, so and then the whole Jekyll Hyde not wanting to come out and play thing coming out throughout the movie, which is kind of fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some shit going down there. What else do we have? We get more. We got more scenes with Wakanda and Bucky being there, being basically taken care of and nursed back to health.
And given a brand new arm, a vibranium.
Yes, a vibranium arm, and we were alluded to at the end of Black Panther of him being now kind of nicknamed the White Wolf. So we kind of seeing how he is right now with that.
He's still the Winter Soldier. He's going to be Captain America probably after all of this anyway.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The two people we don't see are Hawkeye and Ant-Man, and they basically said, I guess they had their own things to deal with, and Cliff is off doing his own family thing, and Ant-Man we'll probably see what happens with him here in the next movie, because I'm guessing
I can't wait for that film.
The same time. I can't either. It's going to be awesome.
I can't saying that.
Yeah, so there's all that stuff. I'm trying to think what I'm going through and missing. Oh yeah, Spider-Man is in it as well, and we got the Stanley sighting of him as a bus driver, trying to drive the kids to school or wherever the hell they're going.
Mm-hmm. So the whole New York thing is the rotating ship comes down, starts fucking with New York while Iron Man is talking to Stephen Strange, who was pretty much had a Hulk literally land through his, kitchen window.
Yeah.
And the ship comes down. Iron Man's like, I'm going to handle this. It was right before he was going to call Steve Rogers for help, but he just didn't have it in him because he's still a petty bitch.
Yes.
And he goes about getting ready to do something to win. He's trying to help people. There was a Rocket Mortgage advertisement I just happened to glance at.
Huh?
One of the billboards that flew by him.
Oh, I don't even remember that. They get a catch then, shit.
Yeah, seriously, because I remember Rocket Mortgage is one of the sponsors of the movie, because you see like the advertisement on Instagram all the fucking time.
Huh.
Stop. And I saw that. I was like, oh, hey, Rocket Mortgage. And then I went back to watching the movie. So then, of course, Stephen Strange comes by, flicks the wrist, makes a trick, and all the wind stops. Because he's awesome like that. And, of course, Tony looks and goes, uh-huh. And Strange just went, uh-huh. They're not awesome mustache bros in this movie yet.
Yeah. See, I'm a little miffed because we didn't get the what I wanted out of it. We got them on the screen enough times together where you could have had it, but we did not get a no shit Sherlock moment between Iron Man and Doctor Strange, because both of them did play Sherlock Holmes in different films or TV shows. So, but we didn't get it.
Maybe Thanos, which is what the next movie should probably just be called.
Yeah. So
they were facing the Obsidian Cull, or Cull Obsidian, I believe was the creature's name, and Vigo the Carpathian's bastard love child with Newt Gunray from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. That's what if you ever see Ghostbusters 2 and then Vigo the Carpathian's head coming out of the painting with the thing going on, it looked just like that, but without a nose, which is what Newt Gunray looks like. It was creepy. It was the first thing I thought of. I was like, I hope I remember that to put that on Instagram later, since I don't have a Twitter.
Yes. So yeah, so they have a little encounter, and they kind of
kidnap Doctor Strange because they couldn't get the stone out of the eye. Yeah. Out of the eye of Agamotto.
So yeah, and in the process, Spider-Man hitches a ride, goes all the way up in the upper atmosphere, and Tony kind of like, hey, you got to let go, and this, that, and the other thing. We'll worry about it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, bam, Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, because he couldn't breathe, so it's like, Iron Spider suit, here you go.
Yeah.
Then, he opened up parachute, but of course, Parker being Parker is like, oops.
Yeah, I held on. I didn't let go like I was supposed to. So everybody gets on the spaceship party, and they wind up taking over it and blasting your weirdo boy there out of the ship, and it's like on autopilot going back to Thanos' planet.
And yes, they made a reference to Alien and Aliens and all those films, and just how to they Ripley'd it.
Yeah. There's a lot of just random ass references in it too.
It's a very fun movie until you start realizing, oh shit, it's getting serious. Shit's going down, and it's not going down in the way people want it to go down.
Yeah, that guy you were referencing earlier, Iron Man, at one point in time, I think calls him Squidward. So yeah, and then later on, after they have that encounter on the ship, the Doctor Strange, to get him out of this weird little torture thing, the ship gets boarded by the Guardians, and so that
superhero movie without superheroes fighting each other the first time they meet.
And the funniest part was, again, the alien reference, him yelling at Gamora, please don't put an alien in my belly.
Actually, it was Mantis, but...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mantis. I'm sorry. Not wrong person who's supposed to be green. My fault. My fault. Sorry there. Yeah, because... yeah, that was a weird... Because, that Gamora had already gotten taken by Thanos, right? At that time.
Yes.
Okay, so we skipped the part there. Yeah, there was a confrontation. They're trying to get Thanos, and...
We're not very good at reviewing this film.
Not in the proper order. Dude, we're all over the place, but the movie was all over the place, too.
And yet it felt very controlled and concise. It didn't feel like jumbled or out of control or unreasonably hard to follow.
Well, and I'm doing this by memory too. I'm not even looking at a cheat sheet here about what happened in what order. But they tried to go after Thanos. They make it almost look like they get Thanos, but he on nowhere, and
but he was using a reality stone to just trick everyone.
Yeah, and so because Gamora knew where the Soul Stone was going to be, she basically made Peter promise to kill her if she ever got caught, or she was going to be getting caught. And because of the reality stone, Thanos turned Peter's gun into a fucking bubble gun. It was fucking hilarious.
He was going to do it, though.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to completely screw that shit up. No, his screw up comes later.
Yeah, so yeah, there's that. So back to the confrontation on the ship. They finally realize that they're both on the same side. They're all trying to go after Thanos. I'm trying to think where do we go next, because I know they get on the planet. They crash land into the planet because they can't fucking fly the damn thing.
It's not like they know what they're doing.
That is very, very true.
So everyone's on the planet, but we missed the part where earlier on Thor decided to make himself a new Mjolnir.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He needed a Thanos killing weapon, so he went to Nidnar. I can't say where he went. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Like
it's a dwarf planet, but the dwarfs are like 5 times the size of a normal man.
Realm that is, this was still fucking hilarious when we first see it.
Yes.
Like, dwarfs, and I know Peter Dinklage is in this movie. This is going to be hilarious. Then all of a sudden, a 14-foot tall Peter Dinklage kicks fucking Thor across the room.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking. I'm like, wait, Peter Dinklage playing a dwarf that's like a million times, bigger than it.
Talking about it so oh shit!
So
they needed to create a new weapon for Thor, and that's where they create Stormbreaker.
Yeah, and the entire
that was Beta Ray Bills after he, put Mjolnir down.
Yeah, and so this whole planet's supposed to be like the giant forge, and it's frozen over, so they basically have to kickstart it. And at this point in time, Thor had left the Guardians with Rocket because Rocket basically claimed to be the captain, of course.
Also
wanted a weapon himself, and he was really, it thought it's pretty fucking cool. So yeah, they have the whole situation of him trying to kickstart the thing and basically damn near killing himself to start the flame so they can do the Stormbreaker weapon,
which was handled by Groot, literally.
Yes, yeah, Groot gave a little bit of himself there to make the handle for the weapon.
So that's also an interesting development now, since we all know what happened to Groot.
Yeah, later on, what happens. I'm trying to think, going through all the progressions in my head. So he now has his weapon, which is cool.
And that's the last we really see of him until, holy shit, Thor moment.
Yeah, then I'm trying to go through. They're on the planet. Now they start fighting with Thanos. Fucking Star-Lord again interacting with Tony Stark is just fucking funny because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else and doesn't realize who the fuck Tony Stark is. And how he's so fucking smart in general already. But
Footloose was never the greatest movie ever.
Yes, that was pretty fucking funny. They eventually encounter Thanos at that planet because again he needs the time stone and Doctor Strange is there and he's got it. So big fight ensues and they kind of try to do their thing there, and I'm trying to think, where are we at now? I don't know how many stones we've even talked about officially, but
he should have 4 stones at this point.
Yeah, so
he came in with 2.
Okay, and then we talked about reality, and we talked about soul. So then he needs time, and then he needs the one that's in Vision's head. That would be 6. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone, yeah. So okay, so and then this whole fight ends up happening. And god damn it, it looks like they're gonna get the fucking gauntlet off his fucking hand.
They have it too. It is right there. It is almost done. And then asks about Gamora and loses his shit and starts punching Galactus.
Wow. Wow.
Wishful thinking.
But
punching Thanos in the face with his gun, thinking that's going to help, and instead just distracted the people that he was with from actually.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. They each kind of used a little bit of their own powers to like distract a limb somehow. Like Mantis trying to put him to sleep, hanging onto his head. And then you mentioned the
Crimson Bands of Sikarak.
Yeah, with Doctor Strange trying to wrap up his arms and legs, and Iron Man and Spider-Man trying to get the gauntlet off in the process. And, yeah. Dude, it was a cool little scene until fucking Star-Lord lost his shit.
Damn it, Pete!
So yeah, and then basically just as well before that happened, Doctor Strange runs through because of the having the time stone, he can run through all the different possibilities and see all the possible futures, and there's only one in which that they have the possibility of winning. So I'm like, oh god, that's never tell me the odds, that kind of thing. One of those moments.
Thank you, Han.
Yeah. But after that whole sequence and everybody getting the ever living shit beat out of them by Thanos, Doctor Strange gives up the damn stone
to save Tony Stark's life.
Yeah, to save Tony's life after basically saying he would never do that because Tony's a jerk. So.
But now it makes you think: is this what he saw?
Yeah, as
in
one
that vision?
Exactly.
It's one way to win. Give him the stone.
Yeah.
Say what now?
Yeah, exactly. It almost doesn't make sense. So basically, from there, he beams himself down to Earth, where we're having this giant fucking battle in Wakanda. So Cap and Scarlet Witch and Vision, they're trying to protect Vision. He's
trying to find a way to let Vision still live while being able to take that jewel out of his head, since everything is connected right now.
Yeah, and T'Challa's smarty pants sister is the one who can do it. I can't think of her name. Forgive me.
Shuri.
What is it?
I think it's Shuri.
Okay. So she's the one who's been tasked with trying to get all the connections from within his head, so they can get the stone out of there and destroy it specifically. They have a very Star Wars Episode 1 moment with the barrier and guys holding shields and people walking through the barrier. In this process, though, at least the people kind of killed themselves a little bit trying to get through the barrier, where they just, in Star Wars, they kind of just walk through and no problems.
They weren't droids.
No, they weren't droids. They were actual creature things. I don't know what the fuck they were.
I don't know. I don't remember Phantom Menace very well.
But, so, yeah, then we have a big old giant massive fight with a lot of Wakandan soldiers, Cap and Bucky. Dude, the fun part about that sequence is right as they're running out there, you see Cap and the Black Panther they're booking it, man, and they're just stride for stride together, when normally you see Cap and he's just blowing by people, and someone's keeping up with Cap, and it was kind of cool to see that. So they have their big old battle. People are dying left and right. I mean, there's so many people out there, and then you get your Thor moment there.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, God of Thunder from Kiss starts playing.
Just starts murking everybody.
As he should. He is the motherfucking God of Thunder.
Yeah.
That should be on his business card.
Yeah. Shoot. So after a lot of those guys die, a lot of those baddies are dead.
Very dead. It's not like, they're slightly dead. No, they're very dead.
Yeah. Then there's the last couple of Thor's goons are interacted with and basically dispatched of.
Poor bastards didn't do very well in the film, did they?
No, not really.
None of them survived. One turned into a fucking space popsicle.
Yes, yeah.
One of them got blown up on the fucking barrier. Proxima Midnight got ran over by her own tank. And Corvus Glaive got stabbed through the heart by his own fucking sword thing.
Yeah. So,
even Thanos almost kicked the bucket.
Yeah, well, it was a fun situation there how that worked, but the one subtle reference that I wanted to make note of is Rocket and his fucking obsession with wanting people's fucking limbs or stuff. He fucking looks at the Winter Soldier's arm. He's like,
I look for the arm. It's not for sale. Gotta get that arm.
It's great. It's absolutely great. And then, so eventually we do have Thanos coming down and trying to get to Vision, and the whole point of it was, I mean, that was basically it. Like, they had people who eventually were trying to come to get Vision in the actual building where they were trying to take the gem out of his head, because Scarlet Witch left and wasn't protecting him anymore, and she went out there to help, and he eventually wound up getting out of there because they were being overrun by people. Thanos comes down trying to get the gem out of his head. You got people trying to stop Thanos. Scarlet Witch, with her own powers at one point in time when Thanos is being distracted, is just, she's ready to fucking, like, she doesn't want anything bad to happen to Vision, obviously, but Vision realizes, hey, you have the power to end this. You can destroy this and destroy me in the process. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to kill you. Freaking out because she's going to have to kill her guy in the process. But eventually she does. But she kind of doesn't realize that Thanos has the Time Stone, and we've seen what the Time Stone can do with the apple in Doctor Strange.
So, or just, the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, or just the end of this movie.
Let's just focus on the apple.
So,
not the giant plot point that turned Baron Mordo into a fucking villain.
So, but yeah. So go ahead. You can take this next part.
So yeah, Vision goes kablooey, and Thanos goes unkablooey, and literally rips the gem out of his fucking forehead,
making number 6
a robot corpse on the ground.
Yeah.
And a very upset Scarlet Witch adds the final gem to his gauntlet. Gets a little aroused. Actually, it seems. He enjoyed that. Let's be honest. He enjoyed that.
Vision going gray kind of was cool. A cool touch too.
It was, which is kind of a throwback to like when Vision was also just pure white at one point. Also, so it's just like those little things that make you go ugh when watching the films and stuff like that. And before Thanos gets to do anything, Stormbreaker to the chest because it's half hammer, half axe.
Yes.
Or is it Stormbringer? I don't remember. Either way, I really should look that up because I think it's Stormbringer. That's the name of said axe hammer. It's in his chest. And of course, Thor goes to gloat because motherfucking Thor, god of thunder, gotta gloat. And Thanos, being the glorious bastard that he is, tells him what everyone thought at the same time. You should have aimed for my head.
Yeah.
And therefore, half the universe is dead.
And oh my god, dude, the freaking, you start seeing people just fade to dust, and all of a sudden, like, you see Cap
Someone
look.
read the book Left Behind.
Huh?
Someone read the book Left Behind.
Yeah. But
sorry, that's it.
Oh my god, man, it's just funny because you start seeing different people just slowly disappear, and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah, Spider-Man especially.
Oh my god, dude.
For some reason, he was in pain when it happened. Everyone else just kind of went,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I feel weird. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, I fought back tears when Yondu died in Guardians 2. When
he is Mary Poppins, yo.
When Spider-Man started disappearing, and again, this kid, he's a kid, man, doing this thing, and he's starting to fade away. Like, I'm like, oh my god, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. In the movie theater, I'm like literally like pepping myself up to try to like don't cry with Spider-Man dying, disappearing, and it's like, it was shockingly, it was a majority of the new wave of the characters for the.
Not really. I mean, it kind of makes sense that the next Avengers film should just be the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, we lost Bucky. We lost. I mean, majority of. I mean, we lost a lot of the. I don't think there's any of the Guardians left.
No, all the Guardians were actually removed from reality.
And then
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Falcon, which made me so sad.
Yeah.
Groot. The only one that's left is Rocket.
Rocket's still around. Okay.
Rocket's still around, watching his buddy fade away. But that brings up another moment, which I'll bring up afterwards. But we also lost Black Panther, a whole bunch of Wakandans. M'Baku's still alive, though. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we.
Yoka Okoya, I think Okoya is her name.
Oh, yeah.
One played by Michonne.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I had one pissed off theater. I'm like, dude, seriously, I living in the Bay Area, man. I live right next to Oakland, and that theater was pissed. That especially because of Black Panther taking place in Oakland, they were pissed.
Yeah, so no love for Falcon though, right?
No, it was about T'Challa.
Falcon can die for all we give a shit.
So, but
technically, Falcon was a superhero before Black Panther was too.
Yeah.
Take that, assholes.
So, but yeah, man, it was a heartbreaking few minutes.
I was really sad when Falcon went. That was like the one that hit me the most because he's one of my favorite characters from the Captain America films.
Yeah. So
I love the way his character comes off. So that sucked.
But yeah, man, we lost a lot of people there, and all of a sudden it was just like it went from all this stuff happening real fast to just like, okay, quiet, like what just happened, and we eventually see Thanos back on his home planet and kind of just taking a breath.
Now, have to bring up the post-credit, which saw a returning Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury and a returning Maria Hill, which we all knew they would somehow make a comeback in some fashion. We all knew he wasn't dead. We all see Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And the ending of it. We knew he'd have to come out of hiding eventually. He missed the last 5 or 6, 7 movies.
Yeah, yeah. So,
and,
yeah.
We got the near obligatory motherfucker from him.
Yeah, basically, because
fading away. He realized he was fading away. It's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And every Quentin Tarantino fan went, oh.
Yeah, well, the whole post credit sequence was kind of to show that it's happening all over the globe now. That half of everybody's starting to disappear. And in the process, they all of a sudden you see this really, really old fangled technology called a pager.
Although it looks like a very updated version of the pager, but it's still a pager.
Yeah, and a little alert from this pager, I guess, was sent out. It's more of like it looks like a pager, but it's more of it's kind of like a life alert button.
It was a very subtle reference to the upcoming Captain Marvel movie, because when it said sending, instead of saying receive, it showed a picture of Captain Marvel's symbol and the red and blue stripes that go with the uniform. So, everyone who's bitching and moaning about the uniform being green from all the fucking images that they saw, I'm sure she'll have the red and blue one in the movie as well at some point. Get over yourselves.
And I gotta ask you, because you're the comic book guy compared to me, I'm guessing that the pager is going to be a reference to it takes place in the 90s?
Most likely. I mean, that's what I hear. This movie for Captain Marvel is actually going to be like a prequel, like Captain America, the First Avenger was. So if you're watching these movies in chronological order, good luck.
Yeah, things are going to be all screwed up.
I remember someone actually did like a chronological order cut of like the first 10 films. That's just got to be like, I would love to watch that one day.
Yeah,
see all these films edited together, so it's all just done in chronological order.
Which it's funny because that's actually thinking of trying to find all said movies and watch them in the more chronological order, but now I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that because I was, like I said, I fell asleep before recording the show, and I was watching Captain America: The First Avenger because that would theoretically be the first in the series if you watch them in order chronologically.
Yes.
Next,
yes, it would.
So, but we shall see. I just like Captain America.
Oh my God, there's like 3 of my favorite films come from this franchise, and yes, this is just one giant franchise. God damn, not gonna sit there and sit down and really contemplate on which are some of my favorite films because this might top them all. This might as well have just been called Thanos Quest. Actually, this would have been a better movie. This should have been Thanos Quest, and the other one should have been Infinity War.
Yeah. So
because you ever read the comic books, which I'm sure you haven't.
I have not.
But I have the Infinity Gauntlet comic book that this movie is essentially based on, which is what the last 10 years of cinema from Marvel has essentially alluded to. You know, and Infinity Gauntlet was a series from either 91 or 92, I want to say 1991, where in 2 separate graphic novels, Thanos goes around collecting all the Infinity, then they're the Infinity Gems.
Yes, I do remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, the Infinity Gems are Infinity Crystals. I think they're gems. They're gems. So he'd go around, collect all the gems, and either, you know, he wasn't really violent about it because his job is not there to just wantonly kill and destroy. He was very determined in how he was going to do things. So when he was facing the Elder of the Universe for these gems, he was doing it in very interesting ways, making sacrifices, playing games, completing challenges, you know, stuff like that. And he eventually was able to get everything. Now, I just want to say that Thanos is nowhere near as tall in the comics as he is in the movie. He's goddamn, what, like near 8 feet tall in the movie?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
I mean, he was actually taller than the Hulk, just by a little bit, so. But, that aside, he eventually gets all of them, and the heroes are told by Silver Surfer what's happening. Like, we have to stop Thanos! Apparently that's my Silver Surfer voice. And I don't know where that came from.
It's okay.
No, it's not. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, they go off to fight Thanos, and eventually Thanos just says, yeah, no. Half of everyone is gone. And he didn't do it for altruistic reasons, as like there is in this film. He did it because he loves the embodiment of death and wanted to please her.
Which, yeah, there's a whole nother storyline there. Death is actually a person, a female person that he had a relationship with.
Not a female person,
well,
per se, but
the entity
in the Marvel Universe is female.
Which also, eventually, too, again, because research and YouTube videos, Deadpool did have a relationship with her, too.
Oh, she loves him.
So.
She actually loves him, but they can't be together because Deadpool can't fucking die.
Yeah.
And it's actually Thanos' fault. Thanos is like, you can't have my chick, fuck you, you live forever.
So.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
It really is. I am not making that up.
One thing go ahead, sorry. I'll add it in later. It's a side note, totally. So.
All right, well, the side note will come in 1 second. I just want to point out that the way Infinity Gauntlet ended was essentially Thanos was tricked into reviving everyone because Mephisto was in his ear and other people were in his ear, and then he just realized, you got me. So then he retired. Actually hung up everything and became a farmer.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But what is your side? I want to hear what your side is.
The side note thing that came up, too, I love the fact that we basically got to see the Hulk breaker, the Iron Man suit, and Banner was in it, and it's fucking hilarious because Banner, it took him a little while to get used to it, and he keeps fucking falling over.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that when he keeps calling Hulk, and Hulk said, "Yeah, all right, you big green baby, I'll handle this myself," and he just starts kicking ass.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I just thought I wanted to make sure I brought that up because it was because my nephew is probably he likes superheroes, but it's one of those things where I'm not going to take him to see this one, especially because again he's 7 years old, and I don't want to have to explain death to him like that. Why?
Oh, man, he should know by now.
Well,
he should know by now.
I mean, he does, but it's one of those things where when he hasn't seen all the other movies, I mean, he knows of them and seen cartoons and stuff like that. I don't want to have to explain why Spider-Man is dying.
So what you need to do is wait for, because I think this is movie number 19, so you have to wait for movie number 22 to come out to eventually let him see them all when, hey, they all came back!
Yeah, so, but no, I happened to mention something about the Banner running around in the Hulk breaker suit, and falling over, and he got a kick out of me saying something about him being in the suit and falling over, that to a point where he would be, he'd be like, hey uncle, and he'd run, trip for no reason in the house. I was like, oh god, here we go.
Well, I can tell you a lot of kids at my school did see it in there. That's an elementary school. And one of the girls in 3rd grade asked me if I saw it. Just ask, because she knows I'm a comic book geek. There's a lot of times where instead of wearing my work shirt, I wear my work vest. Since it has the logo on it, that's all I have. Technically, as a supervisor, I just need to wear an ID if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be a dick like that. You know? So I'll wear the vest, and I'll usually wear either, a baseball shirt, because I have a couple of dozen Yankee shirts that I wear, or a comic book shirt. So they know I'm the comic nerd. I've never hidden that fact. Well, maybe the Star Wars shirt. There was a Star Wars shirt on Friday I wore because of
May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yay.
Yeah, it wasn't with me that day. I needed the Force to take me out of there. Where were my midichlorians when I needed them?
Revenge of the 5th.
Oh, God. So, she just looks at me and goes, did you see it? I went, uh-huh. She went, mm-hmm. I'm like, this is a fucking 8-year-old child. That's just like, damn right. Damn right you saw it. I saw it too. Damn right. I'm like, okay.
That's pretty good.
But the best part was, later on in the class, they were getting ready for an activity, and she was just looking at me. I just looked at her, and I just snapped my fingers. She goes, ah! Starts wilting where she's sitting, falls over, and goes, and her fingers start making believe like she's fading away.
That's funny.
And I'm standing there watching the whole thing. Didn't crack a smile, and then she just stops. And I lost it. I went, everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts.
That's cool.
And she might have been one of the only 2 kids in that class that saw the actual show, and I think the other one wasn't there because it was a whole other thing. But I just lost it. I couldn't help it. I lost it, and we got a huge laugh at it.
That's pretty good. So yeah, man. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, all these movies have built up to this. I mean, I think it met expectations.
It far exceeded expectations. It's like, once the final film of this phase is done, how do we go from there? Like, what do we do? How do we do this? Who's going to be the next main villain?
Yeah, I don't know where the hell they're gonna go. I mean, we got 2 movies coming up here in Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then early 2019 we're gonna get the conclusion to this whole Avengers storyline.
And then we know, out of all the slated films for Phase 5, because there are plenty of slated films for it, 3 of them are going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will probably set up a whole new team after this.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2 and Doctor Strange 2, which I believe Doctor Strange 2's villain is confirmed to be Nightmare, which, as an old school Ghost Rider fan and an old school Doctor Strange fan, that gave me a movie boner.
See, I don't know the characters, so yeah, I'm wait and see, or have to do my research. So
Nightmare is the Dark Lord of the Dreams realm.
Nice. Okay.
Just go with that.
So basically, it's going to be really weird to watch in 3D.
Jesus Christ, I just realized Doctor Strange was pretty weird. I kind of regret not seeing that in 3D now. See, I don't do 3D very well. I really don't like 3D movies because my eyes don't adjust very well to it, but I just happen to have... Okay, so when I went to see Iron Man, not Iron Man, what the fuck? When I went to see the Thanos movie, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, you know, I got to the theater at 3:30, and I'm by myself, so I'm like, this shouldn't be too hard to get one single ticket, right? 4 standard def movies at that time, none available until 7:15. I gotta be at work at 9 in the morning the next day. What am I going to do? Hey, there's a 3D one at 4:45. I hate 3D movies when I don't want to go home. Okay, fine, here's $4. I'll watch the movie.
Damn, that's a good price.
Well, I had a free ticket. So.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple of Regal movie tickets that were given to me. Apparently, get them at Costco. I wonder how much they cost for that thing. I gotta go to a Costco and see how much that thing actually costs. Calculate it and be like, you know what? This is cheaper than actual movie tickets. I'm just gonna buy these.
Probably, yeah. I would assume so.
So I also have a shitload to AMC that I never go to, so I have to find time to use those. And this one that's either in Jamaica, somewhere in Brooklyn, or somewhere in Whitestone. So it's all very, very far, and Whitestone doesn't have good memories for me right now, so I won't be going there.
But with the whole fucking movie itself, man, like you said at the top, if you didn't know what was, I mean, didn't watch all the movies, you kind of, I mean, you would have been lost. It's, I mean, as a standalone film without any prior knowledge of anything, you're lost. But
movies you probably could have passed on, Iron Man.
There's I mean, there's a few
you could have passed on. Probably Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Captain America: The Civil War.
And yeah, anything that doesn't have anything to do with an Infinity Stone, you could basically have passed on for the most part.
Black Panther, although you really shouldn't. That was a really good movie.
It kind of, yeah, some of it kind of.
You just gave me 2 sympathetic villains. One's still alive.
Yeah, and
so that's what I want to see. Thanos doesn't die at the end of the next one. Instead, he goes off, and at some point in the future, Thanos needs to play the good guy.
Interesting.
Think about it. Just think about it. They're like, we need to kill Thanos. Yeah, not gonna happen. Poof, Thanos is gone, doing what he needs to do to chill. He's back on his planet. You know, like.
Well, here's.
And then one day, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4, they all show up like, Mr. Thanos, we need your help.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because, okay, I have the what's the fucking game called for the PlayStation, that Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever the new one, Infinite, whatever it is.
Infinite?
I don't know what it is called.
Very British of you all of a sudden.
Infinite, whatever. I don't know. I can't. Again, brain not working. Still tired. But you saying that is part of one of the storyline in that game. If you play the story mode, because it does have all the different characters from the different video game realms and stuff like that. You get a lot of different crazy things with Ultron and different villains from the Capcom world and things like that too. At one point in time, Thanos kind of does work with you. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they do something like that.
In comics too. Yeah. I mean, Thanos has had his own series at one point called Redemption. Well, okay, so back in 2006, Marvel came up with probably one of the greatest space epics in comics called Annihilation. And it started with Thanos having his own 12-issue miniseries written by Jim Starlin and illustrated by Star-Lord for the most part. And that just kind of gave us who Star-Lord was and all this stuff. And who told us what Star-Lord kind of became this like grizzled old space veteran who's kind of tired of being, a grizzled old space veteran, but he's still going to be a grizzled old space veteran because he's got nothing better to do than be a grizzled old space veteran. I was trying to say that as much as possible. And I haven't read it yet, even though I've read Annihilation probably 4 times. So I only bought the book last year. It is actually the next book on my pile of shit to read. Literally, it is underneath the book I am currently reading, which is Jesse James' classic Western collection by Joe Kubert and Carmine Infantino, because I really wanted to read some books written and illustrated by Joe Kubert and Carmine Infantino because they are some of the greatest comic book illustrators to ever live. Make sense?
Yeah.
Silence.
No, I said yeah.
We didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay.
We can hear you now, but we didn't hear you then.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway. So Thanos was eventually... So Annihilation, as hopefully we'll be able to do this one day. I'm nodding my head to your response.
Okay.
You may not see it, but I am nodding.
That's funny.
Then I realize I am talking to you through Skype, and you don't have a video image of me. So I'm like, let me just respond.
Yeah, so, alright, carry on.
So, Annihilation was a grand space epic where Annihilus was pissed off at people getting into the negative zone, like the prison that Tony Stark put in there with the help of Reed Richards because of the civil war that they were having on Earth. So, the Annihilation Wave, which is essentially billions and billions of negative zone insects just destroying everything. Destroyed the Kiln, which was a space planetary size complex prison thing, completely destroyed. Destroyed Xander, the whole planet of the Novas, which apparently was destroyed in these movies too, where only one Nova survived, Rich Rider, of course, the guy from Earth, and he became Nova Prime, where the World Mind literally downloaded himself into his helmet.
So
and Nova became the ultimate Nova character, completely overpowered, one of the scariously overpowered guys in the fucking universe, and we haven't seen Hydra hear from him for a while.
Which, it's funny, you just said that, and something that we did kind of overlook was the fact that, yeah, some of the people from, people from all other planets and stuff, obviously half the planets are dying, the people population. So we kind of probably lost characters that we'd seen in other movies, like you mentioned the Nova Corps.
Well, we actually mentioned that the Nova Corps were destroyed. Actually, Thanos took them out first.
Yeah, but it's like, oh man, what's his name? I can't think of the actor's name now. Who helped Star-Lord there, and he had a pink little kid.
Oh, John C.
Reilly's character. Yeah, there you go. I can't think of his name off the top. My brain just thought of Cal Naughton from fucking Talladega Nights because I got a pop. So
Nova becomes super overpowered. Drax becomes a completely different Drax. He actually became a shell of himself and then broke out of that shell and completely forgot who he was, but was much smarter than he was, and not kidnapped, but essentially a girl hitched a ride with him from Alaska because her mother was dead and her family was shit. So yeah, there's like a little kid sidekick throughout all of Annihilation.
Nice.
It's slightly weird. So Annihilation brings together several different people in order to face and destroy the Annihilation Wave, which the characters who brought together were Ronan the Accuser, the Silver Surfer, Nova, and Drax were the main ones. Thanos was pretty much hired by Annihilus to actually capture Galactus and turn him into a giant battery for Annihilus to abuse. And Thanos is just like, I got nothing better to do right now. It's interesting. I'm intrigued. He was actually about ready to let Galactus go when Drax literally ripped his heart out.
So what do you think from what you know comic book wise? Where do you think they're going to go from for the next Infinity War or Avengers film?
Well, they did say they wanted to go more cosmic, so I'm sure we'll see a Nova film at some point. More Guardians of the Galaxy, some stuff like that. Maybe once this Fox deal finally goes through, I think Annihilation War could be a thing that actually happens, where it's going to be more Avengers-centric, but it's still going to be this giant outer space battle, dealing with space bugs trying to destroy every planet in its wake and kind of just destroy the universe one planet at a time, and succeeding, kind of. And then heading towards Earth, and then you have to fight it off, or maybe head into space and you fight it off. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. I mean, there's a lot of, Shumagorath, as my friend Gene likes to point out every 3 minutes, could be a big baddie, because he's this giant celestial being. Shit, the fucking Celestials!
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, Earth, you've gone a little too far, we're going to start over, cleanse the planet, and, put new life on there. That's easily something that can happen.
Yeah.
There's so many different characters and aspects that can be taken into account, and stories that can be taken from that we could see Ultron come back in some form, and actually, Annihilation Conquest is where Ultron joined with a parasitic technological species known as the Phalanx, and actually take over all of the Kree homeworld, and that could be part of the story there,
Oh, it was Ultron Sigma. That was what the baddie was in the video game.
Yes, I actually knew that. I thought you did too.
Yeah, my brain. It finally clicked into my head.
I actually played the game once.
Oh, okay.
I won 4 games in a row. It was impossible. I don't normally do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is a lot that can be done. I mean, shit, Thanos can be the big villain again. It's like, I'm going to try something else this time. I want my Infinity Stones back. Give them back to me. Can't have them anymore.
Yeah, so.
I mean, we know that's how we got the zone off of Xander. Fuck Xander up for that.
What about, maybe we mentioned him earlier, Adam Warlock?
Well, he's definitely going to come into play. He's never been, that big of a baddie, except for, when he turns into Magus. That could be an issue. Damn. Oh, man. I'm going to Google something for a minute, now that my computer is working. Cosmic Villains, Marvel. Thanos, Annihilus, I can't say that one. Tenebris, Galactus, there's Dark Gods. There is a lot of potential that could be done if we really wanted to do that. If we wanted to, we could also go to the God Wrap. All of a sudden, Hercules shows up.
Yeah, that would be a little odd.
That would be interesting for, the next, it's not Adam's evil twin, he's literally is Adam fucking Warlock, the Magus. It's Adam losing his shit and becoming a villain. This dude almost ate the universe. Mikaboshi, it's actually a Japanese god in the storyline, I believe, and a god of chaos, and at one point he was working with Hercules to fight the gods of the Skrulls during the Skrull invasion. Secret Invasion, that's another one. If we finally get Skrulls, if we get, Fox deal goes through.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential depending on how they want to do this. The Skrulls could be a very interesting storyline. We could go more cosmic, we could also go more realistic, like Kang the Conqueror and all the time travel. That could be done. Korvac, which is just like a homemade villain that can just be super insanely powerful. There's actually a son of Thanos called Thane, who's actually absolutely horrible. Let's forget he existed. If they get Fox, Galactus.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean they could totally pull that. They could pull out more with the Silver Surfer.
If they ever wanted to do another Thor movie, there's Gore from the Jason Aaron run where he was the God Killer. Really good story, really well illustrated. I think you'd actually like it too. It's very well told. And there's just the High Evolutionary. He could be someone to deal with. There's so many characters that can be utilized in these films. If you really want to, we can go super cosmic. We can start talking about like the elders of the universe. We've already seen two. Why can't we see more of them? What about the Gardener? What about the Challenger? What about the Stranger, the In-Betweener, Lords Chaos and Order?
What if I know we kind of alluded to it with a Stan Lee scene about him being the Ultimate Watcher. I think I can't remember the name of the character, but they have the Watcher. Huh?
The Watcher.
Okay, so wondering what they may come into play, if anything.
Hey, how about Mephisto? We start getting to the more dark side of things, right?
Yeah.
We've already seen the Cosmic Bandits interact. Why not interact?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we get the Juggernaut through that too.
It's possible. Again, if they're getting everything, and hell, I know this is gonna.
Marvel come back. What about the Beyonder? Fucking Secret Wars.
Yeah, they can do. They can do a lot of stuff, man, if they have all the rights.
They've used certain guys already too. They use like Surtur, Dormammu, but these characters always make comebacks.
Yeah.
We already used Ego, but he dead, unfortunately.
Ego and his glorious hair.
Oh my God, such beautiful hair. I want to touch it. I want to take it for my own and use it. I need hair like that. My hair is insanely horrible.
But I had this wacky idea. So people have already said that there should be some sort of recap film with what's his name from Ant-Man doing a recap of everything and just talking everything, and here's all the imagery on the screen as he's doing the voiceover for what's going on.
That would be a great short movie.
Yeah, well, here's the fun part. At the very end of the film, when he's ready to leave the chair, the camera pans around and you realize that Deadpool is the director, and that's how you introduce Deadpool into this world.
Honestly, even Ryan Reynolds don't think there's going to be a Deadpool 3 or, Deadpool will make it to the... it's going to be tough, man, to justify that.
I just think it'd be funny.
There's a little information on Nightmare and Shumagorath for you as characters in possible future films.
Okay, cool.
Of ones that I think that can... Let me see if I can find more that can really... outside of, like, Galactus, we've had Thanos as the big baddie in the first one. They didn't fuck around with, getting into like the main villains of this. I think Magus could be a really good one. Annihilus could be a good one too, but that one comes from getting Fox. You can't have Tenebris or Aegis unless you get Galactus. The best thing about Galactus is like one of the very few survivors of the previous universe.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the 7th iteration of the universe in the Marvel U. That's the idea of what that reality is going through. That one of the multiverses, that universe has gone through its 7th universe, and Galactus is actually a survivor of the previous one imploding. And thus, Galactus' goal now, his energies are completely different. He has to feast in a different way. That's why he takes energy from planets and uses them as, fuel. The thing is, the idea was that Galactus was a universal constant. You needed him to destroy certain planets so other planets can thrive. That was the thought. So every time you try to stop him, now he's more pissed.
Yeah. Guy who can basically eat planets, piss him off. Yeah, smart move.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing, like a secret invasion storyline with the Skrulls. I think that would be really well done, especially with the idea that Skrulls have already infiltrated Earth and they've been around for years, and maybe one or two of our heroes are actually really Skrulls, and that's where they got their powers from.
Okay, that's an interesting take. Huh.
Like, maybe you see her, like, in future stories, you start seeing, like, oh yeah, blah 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 was stopped by who's it what's it's been like a hero in Texas for a few years, you know? But not enough to be on the Avengers radar, but hey, he's doing good shit.
Yeah, that could work.
Type of thing. And really, he's just a Skrull biding his time, and all of a sudden, you know, the Skrull Queen finally awakens, like, we will attack and take over your planet because our gods tell us to.
Invasion from within.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. I will send you this link, and there's some characters there. You see which characters, you know, float your cosmic boat.
Okay, I will definitely take a look at that.
You know, there's a lot of, like, if we really wanted to go into a more mystical end, you know, if they wanted to bring Ghost Rider in as a new movie character, not just the one that we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, like, more Hellfire, Damnation, Mephisto, Chthon, Zatkael, which no one really ever remembers because that was more of a Jason Aaron thing, so that's a very low on the scale of anyone giving a shit, really, honestly. But, yeah, there are some... Fuck, man. I like how Dr. Doom is number 17 on this list. Shit. Probably should be higher, man.
Yeah. Hey, they got that, Akhenaten.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for some really cool shit, especially if they wanted to bring Galactus. Galactus could then bring all his heralds, and there's a lot of different characters that come with the heralds. There's the Fallen One, there's the Silver Surfer, there's Terrax, there's Morg, there's Firelord, there's so much that can be done. There's what the hell did Cody Rhodes call himself for a while? Star something or other. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Stardust. It's a Stardust too.
Yeah, dude, they got they got a lot of different fucking baddies, man.
I mean, if you look up Celestials, there's so much that can be done with that too. Shit, half of Kirby's stuff can be done. I really would like to see Kree become like a huge thing in this in the future, become like a really serious threat. And then we get to see the Kree Supreme Intelligence, man. You need to see that. Let me see if I can find that for you, just so you know what's going on there. And if they get, you know, Fox, there's also why is my brain blanking on this? This is an important one. The fucking bird alien people.
Oh, I do vaguely remember seeing that stuff from, what the fuck was that? Like a Spider-Man, X-Men crossover?
The X-Men cartoon. The Shi'ar. There we go. That means we get like a real Phoenix Saga and have everyone have to try and deal with the Phoenix. So much potential out there. And yes, they did start pretty big with Thanos, but I don't think that they keep going, man. I really think they can.
Well, we shall see what ends up happening. I'm gonna stick a fork in this one because I'm freaking feeling it now, dude. I'm really feeling it again that I'm gonna crash and I don't want to fall asleep while we're still recording and all this kind of stuff. And I actually made it a lot longer than I thought I would. So.
Yes, I am thoroughly impressed.
So it was a great fucking conversation about the Infinity War film and where we could possibly be going. Holy shit! Again, if you're a fan of these films, this set it off to a new level. If you've never seen the other films but then watch this, you'd be kind of lost. So go watch all the other films and then go see this. So it might take you a year, but to watch everything. But
actually, it only takes you about 3 days if you marathon the fuck out of them. You watch 6 a day.
It just depends too, and if you want to watch the TV shows.
6 a day, 12 hours, watch them. You can be able to do it in a week at least.
Unless you want to throw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter and all that extra stuff.
Agent Carter, maybe. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is absolutely unnecessary. Doesn't fit into the storyline, and neither does anything from Netflix. I just heard Agent Carter's pretty good.
Okay. So, all right. Well, on that note, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, whatever, the bell on the YouTube, and add us up, Girl Blood Radio on Instagram, Scott NDX on Instagram, DKorea247 there as well. Anything else you want to add real quick before we hit the stop recording button so I can go to sleep?
Honestly, one of my former students is becoming a better artist than me, and I'm so proud of her.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. Shoot. Well, on that note, we will, I guess, talk to you next week if I'm still awake and alive and all that kind of stuff.
If you're not, I will find your corpse and beat you.
Oh gosh, of course.
No, seriously, stay alive. I don't need to lose anyone else. Right now.
That would not be good. So, alrighty then. For Scott, I am Daniel, and we'll talk to you next time here at Gorilla Blood Radio. Nighty night.